Very nice. Look at that face that we have on the screen right there. You know him, you love him, James Pledger. All right, very nice. We're off and running. Cool. Pledge, it's been a minute, man.
It has. I was wondering.
Are you going to take it easy? Oh, really?
Hadn't heard from you. I tried calling you.
You said smoke signals.
He hates me.
You found my old pager number.
I even called Mike Jones' number to figure out.
Very cool, man. We got to get your take on a lot of things, man, because it's been a minute since you've been on the show. You know, the Spurs.
I'm here for it.
2 months away from starting. NFL season 2 weeks away from starting. Lots of exciting times, man. This is the calm before the storm. Your Astros up and down.
So bad.
Texans injuries. Are we buying into any of the Dallas Cowboys hope? Good morning, Sergio. Let's make this happen.
It's such a long countdown.
Oh, I know.
Email Mike.
That's right. We're rising together on a hump day. My name is Mikey Benez, and across the screen from me is James Pledger, one of my best buddies. Haven't heard from him in a while. He hasn't been on the show in a while. This is the Area 280 podcast powered by P.F. Chang's La Cantera and the Hard Rock Cafe, San Antonio. Hope everyone's having a fantastic week. I am back, Pledge, from Red Rocks, rather. There in Colorado. It was fantastic. Saw Carlos Santana perform there with Chica over the weekend. It was a badass time. Pledge, how you feeling, my man?
Red Rocks is one of my bucket list venues.
That's exactly why we went. I was telling you over the phone earlier today that I've been knocking out some bucket list items. Red Rocks did not disappoint, but it was pouring rain before the show started. So as we're getting in line, they opened the gates at 5:30. We're in line at 5:15, just getting pelted by this freezing rain. It was amazing. It was exhilarating. I asked my wife if, because my wife is always cold, right? And I knew this was cold rain, but she was a good sport about it. We got into the show. There was no rain during any part of the show. Carlos Santana, 79 years old, man, still bringing it. Amazing performance. It's a show I'll never forget, man. I highly recommend it. And everyone's saying that for some reason my Yahoo account name is my screen name for whatever reason. I don't know how to fix it. No Joe today. Joe is out for some personal reasons, man. Everything's all good. But I'm trying to guide this show by myself, and I'm not used to being a producer, Pledge. What is the number one rule that I need to have here?
Don't screw up.
Don't screw up? Okay. As Matt Gomez points out on our chat powered by P.F. Chang's La Cantera, oh crap, Mike's in charge. That's right. I'm in charge of it all. And I'm getting rid of the internet over here.
Look at me.
Yes.
I'm the captain now.
Yes, you are. I'm actually afraid. You know, this is like going into a boxing match where I have done no training whatsoever. I know that to go toe-to-toe with Pledger, you need to be on your game, okay? Because one mess up, one missed word, you just run right over me, man. It's fantastic. But Pledge, you can catch him at 7 o'clock. You can catch him weekdays, rather, on San Antonio Sports Star. Extra innings, badass. Pledge, we're going to ask the chat to help guide the show and give us some topics.
Let's do it.
NFL season's 2 weeks away, and we haven't talked with you about the Cowboys.
You haven't.
Cowboys,
Before we
Lastly,
get into any of that, can I
but
bring up the first topic since you're throwing it out to the chat?
yeah.
How sick are those Texans rivalry uniforms?
I did not see. Is that from this past weekend?
Oh, that was yesterday.
Oh my goodness. I was on the
They are
road today.
all the rivalry uniforms dropped yesterday. Some of them are all right. The Music City ones from Tennessee look pretty good. I like the dark blue on the Columbia blue. It looks like they finally got that right. But I want these to be their normal uniforms. The
I'm
script,
looking at it.
the white helmet, the tiling from the inner city of Houston that they use to notate addresses. Like there are such subtle details in there, and the candy paint on the face mask is just incredible. It's beautiful. I
I'm
cannot
looking at it
wait. I've
now.
already been in the team shop. I'm looking at buying a whole bunch of stuff. Like it is gorgeous. The white helmet. Oh my goodness.
It looks pretty good, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. That is a good looking uniform right there. That's why they do it, right? They want people to buy. And I know that you're going to be first in line when it comes to it all. I was thinking about you the other day because I was in West Texas, and I know West Canaan is not a real city, but I couldn't help but think of you when I was in West Texas because of your Jonathan Moxon uniform that you have. But badass. It's kind of sad to think, man. The two biggest stars of Varsity Blues are gone before they turn 50 years old. That's crazy.
Well, three.
Oh, Billy Bob. Paul Walker. Wait, so Lance Harbor, Jonathan Moxon, and Billy Bob all dead. That is crazy.
Mm-hmm. And me and a buddy were talking about this at the beach over the weekend.
I did not know that. That is so sad, man. But the Coyotes of West Canaan High. Still some unanswerable questions about that movie, like what happened thereafter. Why was that their last game? They advanced into the playoffs. Why did they end it at that point? They could have kept going. I've never understood that. How come Coach Kilmer didn't have assistant coaches to like stop all this? He had like a trainer who would shoot up Wendell with the shots and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of flaws in that movie, but still one of the all-time greats.
You're a flaw.
That's true. But Tweeter's still alive, right?
Scott Can is
Tweeter's
still alive.
Scott Kahn, who's now doing various shows on CBS. He's like on every hit show on CBS these days. Ali Larder is on Landman. So they're both living on. So very, very cool. Very, very cool. Let's talk some sports, man. NFL season's 2 weeks away. I know you're a huge Houston Texans fan. We talk a lot of Cowboys and Texans here. Texans have a defense that just on paper should be a top 3 defense in the NFL. The problem is CJ Stroud is a quarterback. I now live in Conroe, which is about an hour 15 from Houston, downtown Houston, right? I go to various stores, whether it be Dick's Sporting Goods or whatever, and you look at the jerseys out there. The jerseys you see out there are Nico Collins, Tank Dell, but I never see a CJ Stroud jersey. Is that going to be the one Achilles heel for the Texans this year? What CJ Stroud does on the field?
I absolutely love how you framed it because it's putting all of the pressure on CJ Stroud, where in actuality, outside of the playoffs, CJ Stroud had an actually really good year, whereas passing numbers down, yes, but it was more of a quick, short game. His completion percentage was up. He played well throughout the year. The problem becomes the offensive line could not provide a run game. They lost Joe Mixon. They were relying on a rookie 4th-round pick in Woody Marks to basically lead that running back room because the ghost of Nick Chubb, who just retired this offseason, was supposed to be their backup plan to Joe Mixon going down. Mm-hmm. It did not work. They did find something in Woody Marks, luckily, but the offensive line's atrocious. It couldn't open up any running lanes. And when they know you're throwing because you can't run the football, playing defense becomes a lot easier. And let's not forget the Tank Dell injury and the fact that they were relying on two rookies and Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel uh, an extreme amount. Plus, they had just changed an offensive system. So there were a lot of things working against the Texans' offense last year. First time play caller and Nick Caley, changing systems completely, going from a Shanahan-esque style offense under Bobby Slowick to now a Patriot style, Ram style with Nick Caley. The verbiage becomes different, the protection of the O line becomes different, and the responsibilities are different. So, like, there's a whole lot that falls on the plate of everything else, including the fact that, let's not forget, they traded away Larry Tunsil. They started a rookie in Ariante Ursary, and they really had nothing else on that offensive line outside of that was a worthy starting caliber offensive lineman until they grabbed Ed Ingram early in the season off of waivers from the Vikings, and he kind of became a solid guard. But I mean, how good is any quarterback without an offensive
No,
line?
I get that. I get that. You need to have a strong offensive line to be successful, but at the same time, you need to have the good football IQ, the what's in between the ears. And I kind of felt like last year, CJ Stroud, I know he was running for his life, okay, and I know it's not all on him, but some of the decisions being made were either made out of desperation or out of foolishness. And if
Mm-hmm.
you look at this team, if you're to tell me that this team goes 12-5, I can believe you because of that defense. If you tell me that this team goes 5-12, I'd believe you because of that offensive line or because of that.
No,
Because
the floor of this team, I don't care if Davis Mills has to start. The floor of this team is like 7, 8 wins. That
I would
defense
hope
is
so.
too damn good.
Well, I mean, a defense is Will Anderson Jr., Daniil Hunter, a lot of Derek Stingley Jr.,
Amari
Charlie.
Lasser, Bullock, they signed Bree Blankenship to address their other safety need. Aziz Al-Shire, Henry Toa, Jadeveon Clowney, you
Oh, the
Sheldon
Clowney pick up
Reckons
last
back.
week.
Like, I mean, that defense is loaded at every level.
Which is funny because we hear Cowboy fans right now getting excited about the defense. And I look at that and I think about it from a different perspective of if you're excited about the Cowboys defense right now, I know Caleb Downs is going to be amazing. That was a fantastic pickup. I can't believe he dropped to 11 to them. But if you want to see what a real good defense looks like, look over at the 713. Look at the Houston Texans defense because I think the
I
Texans
agree,
defense should be a
but
top
I am
five.
also extremely high on what the Cowboys are going to do
All right,
defensively.
go with me on that, man, because the Cowboys last year, one of the worst defenses we've ever seen. And
Sure.
I know the NFL is the one sport where you can go from worst to first right away. I am hopeful for the Cowboys. I think they've done a lot of good on the offseason, and it started with getting Caleb Downs. I'm sorry. They did win the Parsons trade. It started with getting Caleb Downs, but I'm just telling, tap the brakes a little bit, man. Tap the brakes a little bit. It's going to take a while for them to all get together. They have a new defensive coordinator. I think the Cowboys are going to be better defensively, and I've said this before. With that high-powered offense, just give them an average defense, and they're going to be in a lot of games. Just an average defense with that offense, they'll win 10, 12 games. But the whole idea of the Cowboys are kind of Super Bowl contenders, I'm not a part of yet because I still think that the Seahawks and the Rams are the tier ones of the NFC.
Nobody said they're not. Nobody said that they aren't the tier ones. That also doesn't negate the fact that the Cowboys can also be a Super Bowl contending team. Like,
Okay,
two
so
things
let's
can't
talk.
be true.
Let me ask you that question there. You said the Texans' floor is 7 wins, right? I'll go with you on that.
Cool.
With that defense, they better win 7 games. That defense can win 7 games on its own, right?
Exactly.
What is the floor of the Cowboys and what is the ceiling of the Cowboys in your perspective? Knowing what you've seen, San Antonio Sports Star over at the training camp there for the Cowboys every year, what do you think the floor and the ceiling is legitimately?
The floor And remember, you've got to consider injuries and just everything going completely sideways, right? I think the floor is like 6, 7 wins, right around the Texans, just because if Dak gets hurt, it changes the math. If you end up losing some very important pieces on defense that they're going to be counting on, that could very much change the math. But if this team, with what they've constructed on both sides, I think the ceiling could be 12 to 13 wins. Like this is a team I fully expect to not just contend, but to be the favorite in the NFC East.
Right.
And by the end of the year, with what I expect of this defense, with the turnaround it's going to make, I believe that this team can very much contend for an NFC championship and potentially a Super Bowl, because midway through everybody remembers the Micah Parsons trade, but we have to look at it in totality now, right? You brought in Kenny Clark. They were trying to stop the run. With the pieces you got from that Micah trade, you're able to go get a Quinnen Williams.
Right.
Now you've got two very disruptive defensive tackles. You're switching to kind of a 3-4 under Parker-based defense, but everybody knows you're going to be playing out of nickel and dime packages a lot in the NFL these days. But you have Quinnen Williams, you have Kenny Clark to be able to push the pocket from the inside, which is the worst place a quarterback wants to get the pocket pushed. You've added on the outside by going and getting Rashawn Gary. You're expecting big things out of Donovan Ezerako, and he's kind of flashed them in camp when he hasn't gotten kicked out for fighting. Beyond that, the pass rushers are a little sus to me. But a full season, every time we've seen DeMarvion Overshown on the field healthy, dude is a freaking missile. What we saw out of Jayshon Barham, their rookie third-round pick, is, and I like to equate these kinds of things, right? Matt Eberflus is a horrible coach. He was not a great defensive coordinator. He was a great linebackers coach when he was in Dallas for that period of time. He has not done much since being elevated up the coaching ladder. Things went bad because the defense was awful. Because, and I believe this wholeheartedly, coaches need to be able to coach and adapt. Coaches that rely specifically on a scheme or a system are destined to fail, because you're not always going to have players that fit your scheme or system. They have players that didn't like playing zone coverage. They tried to play a lot of zone coverage. It went horribly wrong in the secondary, and we saw that. They were also very injured in the secondary last year. Christian Parker is, and this is my favorite thing about this guy, because after conversing with him, hearing interviews with him, I get the same vibe I get with Brian Schottenheimer. This dude, A, cares about his players, first and foremost, but B, is going to do what it takes to put his players in the best situation. And I'm not going to talk at you like, this is my way of doing it, it's my way or the highway. What's the best way that you learn? Because I learn differently than you learn. You learn differently than Joe learns. Just everyone doesn't learn in a linear path. There are different variations, and you have to find those ways to communicate and teach people. Christian Parker is all about finding different ways to teach, to make sure he gets his point across so that people grasp the system. And you can see that early on in camp. The defense has been, it is not getting run over by the offense this year like it was last year. The defense is actually making plays and holding its own. Same with the Texans offense. Normally, in the last couple of years, it has just been the Texans defense absolutely wrecking training camp to where the offense can't get anything done. Have they won a lot? No, but they have taken the steps forward to be better because of the investments they put in their offensive line. The Cowboys have put a lot of investments in their defense. You mentioned Caleb Downs. Let's not forget they also got Malachi Lawrence out of
Right.
UCF as another edge rusher to add to that mix. They've also added Jayshon Barham. They have done so much to overhaul that. They went and signed Jalen Thompson in free agency to add to Caleb Downs on that back end, and PJ Locke, who has system familiarity with Christian Parker. Like, this is not what we saw last year out of the Dallas Cowboys on defense.
Well, the thing about Christian Parker,
This is about 70 to 80% turnover on that defense with very few of the same players remaining.
and this is the hopeful part of it all for the Cowboy fans with Christian Parker being over there leading the defense. He's a young guy, and we have seen a couple of things that the Cowboys have done over the offseason or during camp that they've never done. One was Quentin Williams getting his contract. Usually they wait till the very last minute. They gave Quentin Williams his money. That was a refreshing thing because we never see the Cowboys ever do that.
Jerry was quiet this offseason.
I know he was. Christian Parker, though, coming in, being hired at 34 years old to lead the defense.
Not a Jerry move.
Not a Jerry move and not a Cowboys internal hire. Okay, it's not one of those things where he played for the Cowboys. He's part of the Cowboys system. They brought him over, and whenever you see players that he coached come out and say, "We love this guy. That's a great hire," and not only that, you hurt a conference rival at the same time by taking that talent away from them. That's a big thing, man. It's kind of like when I was railing against the Spurs for having Pop as head coach, and I wanted a young guy. I'm not going to complain that they hired Mitch Johnson because I asked for the young guy. They got the young guy. It's about setting the culture and setting the tone for that team. And everything has fallen into place for the Cowboys. I'm not going to fall into the whole thing about their Super Bowl bound or anything like that. It's been 30 some odd years. But if you could say a perfect offseason, this has been a perfect offseason for the Cowboys. They haven't had very many injuries, right?
No drama.
No drama. You know, the wide receiver situation, slap the franchise tag. We're not hearing a lot of complaints about that. You bring in a young guy to lead the defense. Caleb Downs, who could have been the top. I mean, I was crying when the Saints drafted Jordan Tyson at 8. I was like, Caleb Downs is the best player in the entire draft.
He's already hurt.
And he dropped to 11, and he's already Jordan Tyson's forever hurt, man. Forever hurt. Every year, hamstring issue, right? But then they go out and they get Caleb Downs. And like you said, they get the guy from UCF. You know, a little bit of not a stretch, but it's one of those guys that did well in the combine that everyone was kind of talking about. Like, are you going to drop it down and not take the guy from Georgia or Bama? Do you take the guy from UCF who might be the better player? You have that going on. Quentin Williams getting the extension. There's a lot of we have Von Miller, 37 years old, coming on in at the last minute. A Texas guy himself. Very little drama going on. I think that the Cowboys have had a perfect offseason, and then you look at across the way of the NFC East. A.J. Brown no longer with the Eagles. That's a big deal, man, because all we know about Jalen Hurts is that he's either playing very well or very bad. He doesn't have average games. He either sucks or is the hero. And if you're going to tell me that the Eagles are going to take a step back because they're starting a wide receiver who's a rookie as wide receiver 2, I can see them taking a step back. Dude, Jackson Dart.
Let's not forget about all the defensive losses they have with Nakobe Dean, and like that. It's not like the Eagles were able to keep that defense together to keep it at the level at what it was. Reed Blankenship's now in Houston. I mean, they've suffered losses themselves.
They have bled for 2 years on defense. 2 years in a row, they've bled on that defense, right? Just players just leaving. Then you look at the Commanders. I don't trust James Daniels for crap, man. James Daniels is an injury waiting to happen every single time he's on the field. And I know that they've picked up some wide receivers in the offseason. They've picked up some weapons.
They're bad too, Tiger.
You know what? You got to learn how to slide, man. Whether it's RG3 or Jaden Daniels, you got to learn how to slide. And if you don't have that part of you, then there's going to be an issue. Then you look over at the Commanders. I mean, I understand that they have talent there, especially at some of the prime positions out there. But I'm not a big believer in them either. So this is where I'm pumping up the Cowboys. Pumping up the Cowboys a little bit. The Giants, I want to believe in the Giants, man. I want to believe in Jackson Dart and Scadaboo and all the stud wide receivers that they have coming back from injuries and whatnot.
Do you believe in the
I
defense of that offensive line, though?
yeah, man. I just and Cam Scatterbo, Mr. CTE himself, gonna get injured because that's just what he does, man. He does his, that's just who he is. So the Cowboys are there. That is 6 games that they play against those 3 trashy teams. Somebody's got to come out of the NFC East. Somebody's going to be hosting a playoff game. The more I look at it, it better be Dallas because the door's wide open for them to walk in.
And it's part of the offense, if it can sustain what it was or even be better with the offensive line, another year into Clayton Adams' system, and being able to protect back a little bit better, because I would say that was kind of the shortfall of their offense last year. They ran the ball well when they ran it. I do think there was a bit of an issue with Brian Schottenheimer's play calling, the same as there was with Mike McCarthy in the instance of the fact that they would get into Brandon Aubrey's range and kind of throttle down to make sure that they got points because they knew they were in a scoring match with the other team. When in actuality, they should have been going for touchdowns because they were in a scoring match with the other team.
Right.
It came down to, can you score 30 to 40? Field goals aren't going to cut it.
Well, I mean, let's look at the landscape of the NFL right now. Okay, as I mentioned, you can go from worst to first very, very fast. I think there's an obvious tier 1 in the NFC. I think the obvious tier 1 is Seattle and LA.
Is it Seattle? Because Seattle, nobody expected them to be there last year, and they kind of surprised everyone. And do you expect Sam Darnold to have a similar season?
I hate to say this, but Sam Darnold might actually be a top 3 quarterback in the NFC. Sam Darnold's won 28 games the past 2 years. He's led 2 different teams, 2 different coordinators to the playoffs at 14 wins each. One, he got bounced in the first round, and it was disappointing.
2 different coordinators, same system.
Same system.
It was Clint Kubiak and Kevin O'Connell, who were both out of the Shanahan tree. So it's not like he was learning from scratch the way C.J. Stroud was.
No, I get that. That's a very good point to bring up. But it is still different personnel. It's still different wide receivers out there.
But it is a new offensive system this year because Clint Kubiak's now in Vegas.
Dude, with JSN out there, I don't care who he's I don't care what kind of offense they're throwing. JSN is amazing, and I know that they lost their running back in the offseason. That might be something to look at. Can they get a decent running game going in the offseason or this upcoming season? That's a big deal for me. But Darnold is one of the most disrespected quarterbacks in the entire NFL, man. Because it's funny, they do all these rankings, right? Top 10 quarterbacks, and where is Dak? Is Dak at top 8? Huh?
I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback.
No, okay, but why doesn't he get the love of being considered a top? Why doesn't he get the love of a top 10 quarterback? Why do we have to have the question of him sustaining at 14 wins a season?
Because he's not a top 10 quarterback.
No other quarterback is getting those wins, man. Why do we have to diss this guy every single time? Because guess what? He's going to win. Let's say he wins 12 games this year, leads him to the NFC Championship game and loses. People are going to be like, man, but the big question mark for Seattle is that Sam Darnold. When is it not going to be a question mark for him? Because I think the stink of him being a top 3 pick and being a bust early on in his career is still on him, and that's not fair.
I think he's a very good quarterback, but I'm not ready to put him in the top 10. I mean,
okay, so great question here.
He's had 2 of the better defenses with Brian Flores and Mike McDonald. That you cannot say he did not ride that defense last year.
Okay, fair enough, but he's also putting the ball in the receiver's hands. Okay,
and Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, he had a very, very good run game. And is that run game going to be the same without Clint Kubiak? Is it going to be the same without Kenneth Walker? I know they drafted Jadarian Price, but I have questions about their ability to sustain what they did last year offensively.
There's a question about the running game, most definitely, when it comes to them. Zach Charbonnet forever hurt. He's always missing 5 games a year. That's just what he does. Great talent. You stash him in your fantasy league, but he's awful. He's always going to get hurt. Will coming out asking a question: Darnold or Dak? Who you got?
Dak. It's not even a question.
Get out of here, man.
It's not even close.
I mean, if it's junk stats that we're trying to measure here, then it's Dak all day long. But I would take Darnold in a heartbeat over Dak Prescott. I
And I
would.
would beat you.
We have a comment coming on in from Mario saying,
Here's a better
looking
question. Here's a
dapper
better
and too
question
tight.
for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Darnold or Dak if you get Seattle's defense with both quarterbacks.
Well, I've already seen Darnold lead them to a Super Bowl victory, so I'll take Darnold.
But you've never seen Dak with that defense. And Dak is the better quarterback. You
I don't
cannot.
know, man.
You're putting this on what he was able to do with one of the best defenses in the NFL last year.
If we're measuring quarterbacks in their 20s and it's a combine situation, then Dak is the better quarterback. But if it is who has to make the right decision at the right time, 3 minutes to go, 2 minutes to go in the game, and it's a playoff game, I'll take Darnold all day.
Darnold led the league in interceptions. Stop it.
Yeah, how many turnovers did they have in the playoffs last year?
He had a couple in the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, leading into
he had a couple interceptions in the Super Bowl. It's just that defense dominated.
All right. That's Pleasure from San Antonio Sports Star. We like going toe to toe. It's been a while, man. Just flexing these muscles a little bit. Let's get into some Spurs talk in a second. But I believe because I'm riding the ship again, Joe's out today, has spending some time with the family. He's going to be out the rest of the week. I'm going to try to run this show kind of on my own a little bit. Let's see if I can run a commercial. Let's see if I can do a commercial here. Am I even capable of doing that?
I don't think he is.
I don't think I am, dude. I don't think I am. Let's see here. Nope, that's changing the design. Oh, here we go. Hey, Pledge. Remember the Gritos?
Oh no. That's not a commercial.
Okay, let's just play you one real fast.
¡Viva México, cabrones!
I love the dog barking in the background. We had to get the grito out. But let's show some love to our good friends over at P.F. Chang's La Cantera. Again, they open up for lunch at 11 o'clock. Fantastic place for date night. Here's some love to Sean Quintero and P.F. Chang's La Cantera.
P.F. Chang's La Cantera, San Antonio's premier destination for dinner, date night, or happy hour. Enjoy one of their signature dishes, such as the Singapore street noodles, sesame chicken, or Chang's spicy chicken, or their infamous Chang's chicken lettuce wraps, which are delicious, by the way. You can enjoy all this while you're dining in an Asian-inspired atmosphere. And make sure to enjoy the new outdoor patio and try some of P.F. Chang's signature cocktails and drinks during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. P.F. Chang's La Cantera is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast.
Pledge, I got to tell you about the smoked old-fashioned over there. You and I have spent many a nights out and about drinking, man. You know, Rue Pub, Angry Elephant, all that stuff, right? Smoked old-fashioned at P.F. Chang's La Cantera, chef's kiss, dude, or bartender's kiss.
I'm down for it.
What's your go-to drink these days, man? You and I go to Brew Pub, or we go to P.F. Chang's La Cantera or Hard Rock Cafe downtown. We'll order a drink. Because that changes every once in a while, right? Because I used to be a makers and diet kind of guy, and then I gravitate. Now I've been doing vodka tonics these days.
I mean, it depends on what I'm in the mood for. Most of the time, I'm just out to have a good time. So it's a beer, Dos Equis, dressed usually with tahini and salt. But like, there are times where I'm just feeling frisky and I want an old fashioned.
There you go. Very nice. Talking to James Pledger from San Antonio Sports Star. How are things going on at Sports Star, man? I still in contact with everybody over there. I talked to Tim Spence the other day. I was in Denver and I reached out to him and we were talking for a little while. Yeah, Spence is fantastic, man. We get along very well. Ryan Eagle and Minix reach out to me on social media all the time. We got to get together pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a minute to answer my call next time.
How are things at Sports Star?
It's been good, man. It's been really good. We've just gearing up for football season. Aggies, Longhorns, Texans, Cowboys, of course, seeing as we are the home of the Dallas Cowboys and the Texas A&M Aggies right here on San Antonio Sports Star. So it's kicking into high gear. Plus our San Antonio Sports Star Fall Golf Classic.
Oh yeah.
We started registrations last Monday. We have four foursomes and 2 singles left.
They go
We
by
have
quickly.
only
It's a
been
fun time.
going for a week. It is almost sold out already.
Oh, it's a fun time, man. It's a fantastic event. I had the pleasure of being out there a couple of times. Never got to play it though. Never got to play it. But
SASportscar.com.
there you go. I like Mario saying that Pledge is the model here for a good time, not a long time.
Basically.
It's been a while. It's been a minute since you and I have talked about the Spurs, and I find it interesting, man, the fight that they're going on with Gino Ortiz-Jones, and we've seen Joe Reinagle go off on the mayor of San Antonio because of what's going on, the failed attempt to put the arena funding on the ballot, losing
Sure.
5-6 when it comes to it all. In your heart of hearts, do you think she really hates the Spurs this much, or is there something going on? Because I don't understand at all anything that she's doing.
There's something in the
trying to
background.
antagonize
I
the Spurs.
don't know what it is, but there's something, whether it's her funding for her campaign that wants her to crusade against us, I'm not sure. And let's get it straight. There have been more lies from that side than the other, but both sides have sort of kind of lied. Yes, that 489 can't be used for anything other than that. It also could be directed to fixing up the Alamo Dome so that we could get more Final Fours and potentially into the national championship. That money could be diverted elsewhere for similar projects, but Spurs New Arena is where we've decided we want that money to go in the current.
It's funny because the whole lipstick on a pig of the Alamo Dome is an interesting dilemma. Because you're right, you can't. It's not only the entertainment district or the Spurs arena that this money could be used for. It could be whatever sports related entertainment type of thing. The Alamo Dome being one of them. Alamo Dome cannot be dressed up and made modern. I went out to NRG over here in Houston, and I compared that experience going to a UH game to what it's like going to the Alamo Dome to watch a UTSA football game, and it's a night and day difference, man. It's like going into
They
some
don't
home.
play at Reliant Stadium.
Well, this was a bowl game that they put onto.
I was like, they have their own stadium, unlike UTSA.
But either way,
TDC.
but either way, playing a game over there at that dome compared to the dome that is in San Antonio, night and day difference. You could put in tens of millions of dollars. You could put all $489 million into the Alamo Dome, and it won't be up to snuff. It just won't be. It was just designed like a dungeon, and it's very. I understand the importance of the Alamo Dome because they need to keep it up, but I don't see any way that it's going to attract Final Fours in the future. It's just past its prime. What I'm saying.
If it doesn't, then we're in a lot of trouble because Final Fours inject a lot of economy into the city of San Antonio.
We have a women's Final Four coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's still the last one that's on the rotation.
I think so.
Unless something happens. I think it's 2027, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's next year's the women's Final Four. But the Alamo Dome has been good for the city of San Antonio, and yes, upgrades need to be made. But the whole idea of having an entertainment district downtown
29
is a big deal. And 29. So the Alamo Dome will still live on, right? But I'm looking at it right now, Pledge, and I was thinking about it. The culture of San Antonio is always looking backwards. It's always like we have to look backwards to think about San Antonio's culture. And I think that's why San Antonio is no longer, it has not been a city that thinks in the future. I think about cities like Austin, Dallas, and Dallas, and Houston, and to some extent, even McAllen down south, which they're looking at moving forward, right? They're moving forward at all times. San Antonio's always looking back. And now we have a mayor in San Antonio who's forever looking back and pandering to those who aren't going to bring anything to the city. It's so weird watching these town hall meetings that you have, which are not town hall meetings. Okay, if they were a town hall meetings, she wouldn't be having them at senior citizens centers, right? If they were town hall meetings, she wouldn't be having them all south of 410. She has a base. The base is old, the base is poor, and the base is disgruntled. And that's all she's pandering to. And now, great article from the Express News over the weekend talking about the fact that she has an open letter to all the major donors in San Antonio, all the businesses in San Antonio, asking for them to donate more to city projects that are for the poor, that are for the kids, and all that stuff. Because why? There's a budget shortfall, right? How many of those companies lined up to put any more money into what they're doing? Zero. And the reason is Gina Ortiz-Jones. I bet you if Ron Nuremberg, I bet you if any mayor of the past had asked for that, they would have gotten a little something from these companies. But no one wants to do business with Gina because she's bad for business.
And that's maybe true. It is of our own making. Nobody voted, less voted in the runoff. And this is the result of that. You have to show up at the polls to be there for your city. You can't just show up for these projects like Project Marvel or the Spurs Arena or anything else. Like you have to show up for other city elected events. You got to show. Luckily, a lot of these people have the council person that they want in place that can affect the change, because it is not a monarchy. The mayor doesn't have overwhelming power. It has to go through a vote, and she is one vote of the city council.
Yeah, I made this point yesterday, by the way. I like Mario's comment here that Gina Ortiz-Jones is not the pulse of the city. Mike already claimed that title way back when. The thing about Gina Ortiz-Jones that I find to be interesting is that she is somebody who's not from San Antonio. She grew up in San Antonio, went to Jay High School, but had a military career, had a government career in Washington, D.C. She comes back to San Antonio not wanting to be mayor. She wanted to be a congressperson, lost that bid, and then backed into the mayoral election. 17 people ran for mayor, right? And she came out on top. But it's fascinating to watch what she's doing, because either she doesn't get it or she's just hell-bent on derailing the Spurs. You cannot look at what she's doing and not think that she's not opposed to the Spurs for whatever reason. And I don't understand it. But Spurs make the NBA Finals. She's the first to be on air with Charles Barkley. She's the first to come out on SportsCenter and say, "Hey, congratulations! Look at our city, how great our city is." And then the next minute, she's dumping on the Spurs.
Sure.
It's fascinating to see what's going on with city council and all of that stuff.
I mean, we got 3 more years of this.
Don't say that. I thought it was a 2-year gig, man. Now 3 more years. Jeez, man. Hey, what do you think about the Spurs offseason? I know it's been a while since we talked about the Spurs together. Spurs making the NBA Finals. They wet the bed towards the end of 4 of those games that they could have won. They make a pickup in Tobias Harris. They have 2 first-round picks that they use. One of them will be out for the most of the season with an injury. I think a lot of Spurs fans, we've talked about this before. Spurs fans are weird, right? They're weird because they overhype them sometimes or they underhype them. I'm excited by the Spurs trajectory because of what's been going on. No one expected them to be in the NBA Finals last year. I don't know why people complain that they lost in the NBA Finals. That was an amazing run. I'm so proud of them. But do you think they address what they need to address in the offseason?
We'll find out, because I think one of the things they need to address, like, I love Tobias Harris. I'm a big fan. I think that he's going to add to the front court and to the perimeter scoring. But let's be honest, the biggest addition may have been Billy Donovan.
Yep.
I mean, yes, you lost Sean Sweeney, and yes, that defense was incredible. Do you have coaches on your staff that can get you to slow the pace when you've got 30-point leads? Get easy buckets. Like, shorten the game, if you will, when playing with massive leads in the second half. That's something that has been an issue dating back to when they were tanking for Wemby, and it's a habit that hasn't been corrected for the most part. Now, they have shot themselves out of those funks before, but they still play at breakneck speed throughout the entirety. And I know that's just the way that they play, but sometimes you have to switch your style when things start slipping away.
a lot of fans, a lot of detractors, especially those who say
Which
that
is
the
why
Spurs-
people are upset at the final loss, because they didn't play up to their standard. If they would
Right.
have played to the Spurs standard that they had set earlier in the playoffs, they win the finals going away.
I've never been a big fan of the whole "we like our team" mentality. Let's just run it on back. But if there was ever a team to do that, it's this one. Wemby is going to get better because he's entering year 4. He got his extension. Castle's going to get better at year 3. Harper's going to be better at year 2. Hopefully, Fox is healthy. And you take a look at the Spurs talent around them. They didn't need to make a lot of changes. And a lot of people are like, well, what if the Spurs play the Knicks again? What if the Spurs play the Knicks again? Who cares? They got to get out of the West first. And I think the Spurs are very well put together to battle OKC. Obviously, they won Game 7 in OKC in the Western Conference Finals. They're well put together to take on Denver. They were not afraid to take on Denver in the playoffs.
That's the one team that scares me matchup wise.
Well, they're a tier 1, man. Spurs, OKC, Thunder. I don't even see a tier 2 anymore, man. I mean, DeMar DeRozan did get picked up by the Nuggets, if I'm not mistaken, over the weekend. So maybe that's something worth looking at there. But I don't see Denver as being a rival to either, or a formidable competitor to either the Spurs or OKC. I think it's Spurs or OKC, provided that they're healthy going into the Western Conference Finals. That's a big tier 1. Everybody else, I'm not afraid of, man. As a Spurs fan, I'm not afraid of Portland. Not afraid of Dallas. I'm intrigued by Dallas. I want to see what Cooper Flag's going to do in year 2.
The
But I
problem
think
with the NBA,
there's a lot of rebuilding in the West, is what I'm saying.
the problem with the NBA is it's a matchup game, and you can be one of the best teams and fall into a bad matchup. And I think
one of them last year.
I think Denver is one of those matchups, but you also can't, because it's an 82 game. You can't rely on building a team. That's why everybody was like, you got to build a team to overtake Oklahoma City. You got to build a team to Oklahoma City was almost knocked out by the Timberwolves a couple of different times just because of the matchup, right? So it's one of those things where if you're too focused on trying to beat one team, you fall short against others just because you're building for one particular matchup that you may or may not even see in the postseason. So we got the matchup we wanted last year. Is it a guarantee we'll see them again this year? No.
Yeah. Well, Sam says, weren't you the one who said last season was the last ride for Denver, Mike? And yes, I do believe that. They're on the way down. Spurs are on their way up. OKC Thunder has already been up there. I see everybody cascading down. I see Denver coming down a little bit. I see Utah, Dallas coming up. Portland, to some extent, going up. The fun thing is going to be what's going to happen with Ball and Ant-Man together. That's going to be fun to watch. People don't like it. The basketball nerds out there don't like it. They think that it's a bad matchup there. But I'm intrigued by that backcourt.
I just love the fact that there's somebody to at least take the pressure off of Anthony Edwards that can help facilitate scoring when teams are going all out to shut him down, and you don't have to rely on a Jaden McDaniels or somebody that isn't that kind of guy to take that responsibility on.
Hey, Pledge, the LA Lakers might be the first team in 15 years to start an all-white lineup, man. How excited are you about that?
Great white hope, baby.
Originally, they were called Tres Leches, right? They had Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, and you saw who they had out there on their lineup, their roster there. But every pickup that they have there is all Cinco Leches out there. Fantastic. Let's give some love to our other sponsor, which is Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio. After that, we'll put a bow on the show, as they'd like to say on San Antonio Sports Star. Rob Thompson used to always say that. And Pledge, we'll talk about your show in a little bit. We'll talk about Dolly, too.
Oh.
The Hard Rock Cafe, San Antonio, is Riverwalk dining at its best. With great scenic views, along with its amazing collection of rock memorabilia, there is something for everyone. Enjoy happy hour weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. with $8 and $10 appetizers, $5 domestic drafts, and $6 craft import drafts at the bar only. Try some of the Hard Rock Cafe's legendary steak burgers, or my personal favorite, such as the grilled salmon or baby back ribs. Make sure to visit the third level and enjoy the DJ as you take in the city skyline. The Hard Rock Cafe is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast.
Pleasure. 2 questions for you. When was the last time you were at the Hard Rock Cafe? And second question, what are your thoughts on people going out in public wearing Spurs jerseys or basketball jerseys in general without an undershirt?
I have no problem with it, and probably about 5 years.
I will say this, man. I used to go to Hard Rock Cafe downtown, and I was oftentimes underwhelmed, but they renovated it
Mhm.
for the past couple of years. The new bar area that they have over there, the new Selena Quintanilla tribute that they have there, it's a speakeasy. It's a good place to be, man. It's fantastic. Really enjoyed it out there. I am producing today's show, so I'm glad that Pledger's here helping drive the show. Uh, oh, this is an interesting question. Joy-Con saying Mike's LSU Tigers causing trouble in college football. Interesting, man. Of course, Lane Kiffin has to be there to help steer this ship. But the fact of the matter is, one of the big stories over the past week or so was a player from the Cleveland Browns practice squad who was trying to make the Cleveland Browns, got hurt, is now basically suing his way to get back into college, and he'll become the first player to ever make it to the pros, not get drafted, not get signed, but try to fight his way back into college. Pledge, fair or foul, man? What do you think?
Well, it's foul. I mean,
I agree.
the dude went pro, signed a training camp deal, got cut in camp, and is now trying to go back to college. Like, if you make the declaration and you get signed by a team, that's like that Alabama kid who played for the Spurs on a 10-day and in the G League and tried to go back to Alabama and play. Like, I'm all for you getting your money.
Yeah.
But you make a decision, that decision you have to live with. And if you're chasing the NFL and you've got a year left and it's fringe, like, a great example is Cam Ward. Cam Ward was a guy who could have come out of UIW, went to Washington State, played well there, could have come out, would have been a 3rd, 4th round pick probably, ends up going back to school, going to make more money than he would have made in the NFL, transferring to Miami and playing there, leading that team into the college football playoff, and eventually becomes the number 1 overall draft pick. Like, if there's doubt in your mind, go back and increase your draft stock. You can make more money in college now. So if you're leaving the money for the NFL, that's on you.
I agree with you, man. He made his decision. He made his bed, needs to lay in his bed, is basically it, I'm excited right now seeing all these former UTSA players try to make rosters right now.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer McCormick had a touchdown a couple of games ago. Robert Henry had a touchdown a while back. They're fighting their way up the depth chart, so it's going to be exciting to see if they can make any of the 53-man rosters. Now, speaking of UTSA football, saw a report the other day that said that the first game of the season at the Alamo Dome against UTRGV, the Vaqueros, by the way, I joked I had no idea what UTRGV's mascot was, and I joked with Joe last week. I said it's probably something very ethnic. It's like the Vaqueros or something like that. And then I looked it up. Guess what it is? It's the Vaqueros. Like I said, how stereotypical could UTRGV be to have that? By the way, and boots up, birds up, all that up. Shut up! I hate all that crap. But the report's out there that they have 25,000 seats sold already for game 1. That's what UTSA fans do. They pack the dome for game 1. The question is, the remaining 4 games on the schedule, what is it going to be? But Pledge, I am going to be at the UTSA Texas State game week 2. That's September 12th. It's in San Marcos, right? I went to both schools. I have told Frank Harris, UTSA football legend Frank Harris, on this podcast that the team I cheer for is whoever the home team is. I went to both schools. I'm going to be wearing the maroon and gray for the UTSA for the Texas State Bobcats on September 12th. Who do you have in that game, Pledge? Because right now, I would say UTSA is probably favored, but they've lost the past 2 games to Texas State.
Who am I cheering for, or who do I have? Those are 2 different questions.
Well, let's go with both.
Cheering for the Bobcats.
That's right, baby.
From Texas State. Texas State.
But I get to claim them still, right?
I was there long enough to get a doctorate.
But did you?
Maybe in drinking.
All right, Van Waffle. No, I'm going to be accepted because you are alumni of Texas State, right? So that's where you went to school. I went there for 2.5 years. I get to wear my Texas State gear, right? Even though my degree says UTSA, I can still wear Texas State gear to a football game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Pick a side, man. Like, pick a side.
I'm going to pick GJ Kinney's side, man. GJ
I
Kinney,
love DJ Kenny.
God,
I
he's
think
amazing.
Trailer and McCown are going to win because whenever I am torn, I always go with the quarterback, and
Right.
I trust McCown. You know,
Yeah.
when McCown is a quarterback that I trust more. I also kind of like what UTSA has done with their roster this offseason. But yeah, cheering for Texas State. Obviously, love GJ Kinney from his time at UIW. Love Jeff Traylor. But I just think that the better team is UTSA this year.
I look at Jeff Traylor, and he doesn't seem as vocal or as animated as he has been in years past. I remember when he first got to UTSA, maybe he's just getting older. Maybe that's just simply it. I'm not saying that he's too old to coach or anything like that. He's still very much the prime of coaching years. But he doesn't see him as amped up or as animated as he was when he first got to UTSA. And I don't know if if it's something where he feels that he could have gone someplace else or what it is, but I don't get that same energy from him. Am I just thinking too much about this?
Yeah. I mean, part of it is too, just, you know, and I hate to say it like this, but I mean, you can get beat down by a situation. Like,
Right.
the bulk of his job isn't even coaching anymore. It's
Raising money.
panhandling for money, which is a very daunting task with UTSA. It's hard and it's all inclusive, and it takes a lot out of you, and to still expect those winning results on the field, especially when you lose your core groups like your Sincere McCormick's and your Frank Harris's and your Robert Henry's year after year after year, and you're trying to replace and keep that roster up and playing at a high level and placing coordinators like Will Stein and Golden Al Golden over at Ole Miss now. Like, he's had a rough job, and it's easy when you're at Texas A&M or Texas.
Right. They don't have to do that. They just focus on football all the time. That's all
Well,
they have to do.
they have to glad hand. They have to get the money, but like, it's more about the football.
Right. Well, I mean, when UT does it or A&M does it, it's a formality. You know, there's no begging for money when you're UT football or A&M football. But when it comes to UT, those types of schools, I mean, it's they have to twist arms to make it happen, and they have to focus on that because it's not only recruiting. Because UT doesn't have to worry about recruiting; the recruits go to them. Aggies don't have to worry about recruiting; the recruits go to them. UTSA has to go in there, go in the transfer portal, see who's the third string guy from LSU or from Auburn who didn't play that maybe would want to come to UTSA. It's a different environment, but Jeff Traylor does look beaten up over there.
Yeah.
But we're joined by James Pledge of San Antonio Sports Star. You know, we'll wrap it up, but before we go, Pledge, R.I.P. to Dolly Parton. That one, that is on the level of Betty White. Everyone loved Dolly Parton. And it's nice to see the tributes coming out. I don't know if you saw Jack White perform. Jack White from the White Stripes performed Jolene last night at a show that he did. And it was pretty interesting. I saw Eminem release a statement saying that Dolly Parton had written him a letter encouraging him with his career and congratulating him for all his success and all that stuff. And that he had that letter in hand. He knew where it was. Like, he had always kept that one because it meant something to him. Dolly Parton died at the age of 80, apparently from cancer. And that's what TMZ is reporting this morning, that she died at a cancer facility in Nashville, Tennessee. Do you have any memories of Dolly Parton?
Yeah. Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Great movie. I actually saw that movie. I actually saw 9 to 5 and Still Magnolias. Yeah, she was something else, man. But she was also known for her charity giving, her philanthropic efforts and whatnot. Things that she did that didn't come to light until many, many, many years later.
And also, R.I.P. this morning, Tim Curry passed
Tim
away at
Curry
80 as
died this
well.
morning. Wow.
Tim Curry, one of my favorite all-time actors. He was just so damn good at everything he did.
He had an odd look, man.
Whether it was, an odd look, but I mean, he was just so good. Like him as the butler in Clue is one of my all-time favorites.
That's I finally figured out who Gina Ortiz Jones is. She's Rachel. She's Rachel Phelps in the movie Major League. Like, don't they have the same demeanor?
Okay, I see it.
You know, you see it. Okay, I'm gonna go with that, man.
I'm not tearing pieces of clothing off her for everyone, though.
I wasn't gonna bring that up. Well, that is James Pledger. Tell us about your show, man. What's going on at Sports Star?
Oh, we're just kicking it. Home of the Cowboys, home of the Aggies, talking Texans, talking Longhorns, talking SEC, Big 12, Texas Tech, UTSA, Texas State, UIW. Lots going on as football is ready to ram into high gear. And of course, you can't forget that we're planning our San Antonio Sports Star Fall Golf Classic right now. So there are only 4 foursomes and 2 singles left in the field. And we just started this last Monday. So we are almost sold out. This is going to be a record if we sell out within the first week and a half. And if you want to get in, by all means, sasportstar.com. It is $150 a single, $500 for a foursome. Lots of fun. You've been out at them. You don't have to play in them, but it is lots of fun. After party is going to be at the Gopher Shack. We're playing at Silverhorn Golf Club this year. So Gopher Shack, the new Ingram Bar Group edition, right there around the corner from Silverhorn. So it is just literally a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Yeah, Silverhorn's a fantastic golf course, man. I love there. That's close to your place, right off of 281 in Bidders area.
Used to be.
Oh, okay, yeah, but the golf course itself is there, kind of tucked in into the Bidders area over there.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
fantastic course. It's a great time, man, and you get to go hang out and go meet Rob and Jason and Joe and Pledge and all them out there. It's a fantastic time out there. The silent auction's amazing.
Yeah,
these events, lots of great memorabilia.
Somebody went on like an Africa hunting trip last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I know that in the past they had like entries into like the World Series of Poker, like some of the satellite tournaments and things like that. That was pretty badass. Pledge, thank you for playing with me today, my man. I am producing today's show, and I know that you're the producer extraordinaire. So is Joe. Me trying to work the chat and trying to work all that got me off my game a little bit, but thank you for driving today's show. And as we like to say here on our show, if you'd like to make more money, you give me a call at 210-508-0369, 210-508-0369. Been doing financial advising for 21 years. So if you have old retirement accounts, want to start a retirement account, need life insurance, long-term care, auto, homeowners insurance, give me a call, 210-508-0369. Pledge, it's been fun.
Look at the last super chat.
Oh, we have a $10 super chat. A tip coming in from Jason Garcia. He wants to put at the end of the show by blessing Pledger with a grito. We're gonna give him the old man grito. Pledge, this is for you.
Presumir a mis amigos les conté que en el amor.
That is 28 seconds of grito right there, all for Pledge, my man. He has felt some pain, dude. That's some pain in that grito. Very nice, Jason. Thank you so much for the super chat. Pledge, thanks for being on in with us today.
Maybe
we'll be back tomorrow. I mean, I'm tomorrow. I do have a few people up. So we'll be doing only hours the rest of the week because if there's no Joe, I have a hard time producing and doing the show today. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how you guys do it.
As I end most of my shows, call your loved ones, check on them. You never know what people are going through in life, and a simple "Hey, how you doing?" can change everything.
That is true. That is true. That is Pledge. Again, San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM. Your show starts at 6, right?
6, 7.
6 to 7. Very nice. Go check out Pledge on 94.1. You can also subscribe to them on YouTube. He likes to, I like doing that, man. I don't think I ever listen to the shows that you do on the radio.
Yeah,
I always go to YouTube to watch it because I like sending messages to you from time to time. And I like to see your reaction when you read them and you laugh. You're like, oh, Jimenez is watching. That's kind of funny. All right, man. We'll be back tomorrow. Pledge, thanks for being on with us today, my man.
Of course, man.
R.I.P. to Dolly and Curry. You take care, brother. And you know what the sad part of it is, Pledge? I don't know how to end the show.
Here's the button. Hit the
button down here.
Click the button.
Know. Click the button. All right. I'll see you later, Pledge. Sign off, brother. That was not the button.
That's not the button you need to hit.
That's not the button. That's not the button. Let me see here. How do we end the show?
This is the best part of the show.
This is great podcasting right
This
here.
is just the best part of the show.
You would think stop video would be the one, but that's not it. How do you end this podcast?
End show.
The next 10 minutes is gonna be me calling
Stop live.
Joe. It's gonna be a picture of me with Joe calling Joe in the middle of a funeral that he's at. Dude, how do I end this?
I'm gonna stop this. I'm not wearing pants. I can't stand up.
How do you know that I do that, Pledge?
Because I know you.
Let's see here. Is it under settings? It's not under settings. Should I just play a grito to figure this out and buy myself some time? This is awful. And that is him leaving the show. All right. Fellas, I'm going to let everyone go. Everyone have a fantastic day. Oh, Pledger dropped off and now he's back. You want to see how long this train wreck's going to be, right?
I do.
Okay, so let me show you. I have a mute button.
Yep.
I have a stop video,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not it. I have share. Do you know what it is? It's because Joe started the show. Joe has it on his end. I'm going to go with that, and I'm just going to X out. Everyone have a fantastic day. It doesn't. If this saves to YouTube, it saves to YouTube. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Quit laughing at me, Pledge.
No.
It's under share. It's under stop. Goodness, man.
Do you see the more with the 3 dots?
The what?
More with the 3 dots.
The 3 dots?
Mm-hmm. It says more.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to turn off my computer. Everyone have a fantastic day. Late.